This is the NFL Weekend Review Show on the Flex Network.
Going up, coming down, doesn't come down with it. Does Golden State have it? He's in the end zone, he has!
This is the Flex Network.
Unbelievable!
This is the
Romo
Flex
can't get the
Network.
spot down!
Flex on them.
Run Zeke. Up the middle, he's gone! Zeke's gone! Goodbye, Zeke! Touchdown! Short yardage, pinched in. The dogs got out.
Flex on them, G.
Branding in the gun, third and 8. Crowd making noise. Manning 5 steps. Here comes the run. Taco's got it. That's an Eli taco. Low snap. He picks it up. He looks, he stands, he rushes. Oh, he's up the middle. He's running up the middle. And boom!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Flex Network is here, back in action. So many things have been happening on this side of the world. If you are viewing slash listening from another country, we finally have a president. And amongst some other things happening, there's a lot of news we got to get into. But if you are watching this, you are tuned into the one and only Flex Network. I am at Flex Mike 11 on Twitter. They call me Flex Mike here on the airwaves. And the man to my side is none other than the SnowMan. What's up, Snow?
What is up? It's a good week, a very good week. And surprisingly enough, another, surprise for me is I picked Miami again and they win. I don't know what it is. I'm picking Miami and they're winning.
It has for sure been crazy. What we do here on this show is we love to talk, recap the previous week of the NFL season and look ahead to the next week. And so there's some crazy things have been happening, but we got to do a little business first. Number one, the United States of America finally has a president-elect. And so that's good because it's annoying not knowing what's going on. Like last week's show, we were kind of like, okay. And
we were still in limbo.
So here's one thing. I want to talk about this because today is Veterans Day, okay? Let me do a little something for you real quick. Hold on.
Oh, he had to bust out the hat.
Just have to say here, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. I myself am a veteran of the U.S. Army. A very happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there who have served in any capacity, from U.S. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, if we're counting that. And even I saw something on Facebook today, apparently the Space Force is a real thing. I didn't know it was actually a real thing. I have no idea. But proud to serve this country myself, and happy that that we still celebrate Veterans Day in an honorable way here in the United States. And so appreciate you, Jacob. He says happy Veterans Day. Appreciate you tuning in, Jacob. But yeah, I just wanted to start with that, say happy Veterans Day. There's a lot of things going on in this country, but happy that we can still support Veterans Day. So let me take this off.
Get out of veteran mode for a moment. But yeah, happy Veterans Day, everybody.
Okay, so let's talk about a few things real quick.
Well, before we get to that, I mean, there's a comment on here that, just highlights of, hey, where's Cam? I mean, Cam, where are you at, man? Cam! I'm trying to yell from him all the way up here in Miami down to you guys, and I can't get a response. Cam. Oh,
He
I
can't
probably
hear you from Miami.
he
You're too
can't hear
far
me.
away.
Plus he's still maintaining that tire fire out there. That's called the NFC East right now. So he's just taking care of that right now. So don't worry, he's in good hands. He's ooh
Right.
yeah
So
that fire's growing.
so our boy Michael Yeager is tuning in to the show tonight. We appreciate you hopping on. Michael Yeager looks like he put U.S. Marines on here, so he must be a U.S. Marine vet himself.
Hoorah.
So if he is, awesome, cool. But he says that Cam's ducking him. Cam is not actually ducking him. Cam was called into work, and so he had to miss tonight, and that's okay. But Snow, let's talk about a couple things. There's some news that went down. Christian McCaffrey finally comes back from his ankle injury, and then he gets hurt again. He's kind of got a weird shoulder thing going on, and so he's expected to miss this week. It just hasn't really been a good season for injuries, especially if you're a just a high profile guy. It's been very weird for these high profile athletes. I mean, you lose guys like who am I thinking? Von Miller from the Denver Broncos, who's never been hurt ever, and all of a sudden he gets hurt and he's out of there. But let's talk about a few things. A lot of teams are already, talking drafts because they're out of it, which is weird.
Oh yeah.
The 49ers seem to be in the worst possible shape out of any team in the NFL, maybe outside of the Cowboys. They're probably 1 and 2 there as far as injuries go. They're just so beat up.
Yeah, Cowboys and the Niners are just beat to shreds right now just on injury alone.
Yeah, and so Michael Yeager here, saying everyone who dropped Mike Davis, laughing at him because McCaffrey came back. So it's like, oh, okay, Mike Davis is relevant again, and I think Mike Davis was still going to be relevant even with McCaffrey back, but
oh yeah,
that's just me there.
And then of course talk about the worst luck for the whatchamacallits. They lose their quarterback again, and what would be the same somewhat injury right there, and they bring back the guy that they had that horrific injury. What's going on in DC with their quarterback?
Yeah, they are in trouble. I think they're doing everything possible to not have to start Alex Smith, but
they're gonna have to now.
I mean, they're in trouble. There's no way. There's no way that they're not gonna play him. I mean, right?
They have to. I mean, they're obviously their starting quarterback. He's done. I mean, literally, you get that turned foot right there in that leg. It's like you see it and you're like, nope, not looking at it. Done. Can't see it. And yeah, they have to bring back Alex Smith, as their starting quarterback now, because again, that injury was just bad again.
Yeah, so at what point does Ron Rivera say, if we don't, you got to weigh the options of, do we start Alex Smith, or I'm speaking for Ron Rivera right now. This in my mind, this is kind of the things that maybe something that he thinks about. He says, okay, I don't want to start Alex Smith because I'm at like serious risk of like really ending that guy's football career, which was, as close to being over as you could get. Or do we give Dwayne Haskins another chance? For whatever reason, Dwayne Haskins has put just a sour taste in Ron Rivera's mouth, and I don't know why. Rumors were that he had a game that they lost, but he put up like high stats, 300 plus passing yards, a couple of touchdowns, and all that
Story
stuff.
of
And and it just ticked off Ron Rivera. So, what are we talking about here? So Ron Rivera's got a decision to make. Do I start Alex Smith or do I kind of revisit the well and see what's going on with Dwayne Haskins? Because they obviously weren't able to trade for him at the trade deadline. Any other team. So there's a lot of things going on out there. Who knows?
Well, I mean, that's just the craziness of the NFL. I mean, you got to make, split second decisions I mean, it's got to be impactful decisions because you got to, make the decision. Are you going back to the guy that everyone was wanting and hoping to come back and he has come back from injury, or do you want to give the what string of, quarterback are they on if they don't go to Alex Smith?
Okay, so we're saying Kyle Allen is a starter.
Mhm.
And
Alex Smith.
then Alex Smith is probably technically the backup because of their, just how dissatisfied they are with Haskins.
They're trying to wean him back in at a slow process to where he can get back into footballish, gameplay shape. I mean, because had there been, I would say if there was a preseason, Alex Smith would have been playing most of it to get him back into that, playing mentality on the field in action. But because of, COVID and no preseason, I think it was kind of like Alex Smith is getting weaned into it a little bit to, get more snaps into live action. So,
Right. Totally. So, yeah, a lot of things been going on in the NFL. Let's touch on the Dolphins real quick. The Miami, keep that shirt on, Snow. Go ahead and keep that shirt on. Bring that bad boy back on. We'll get past it here in a second.
Might as well keep the shades on a little bit longer.
Yeah. So the Miami Dolphins, was it in Arizona or were they in Miami? I don't remember.
They were in the toaster. That big
okay.
toaster.
Okay. So, yeah, the Miami Dolphins go. What do you mean by toaster? Are we talking
Arizona?
Okay, because they're both toasters.
No.
Miami's like
This one, Arizona's arena is literally shaped like a big toaster, thanks to thanks to Boomer. He came up with that in I think like one of his prime times. Is like they're going to play in the big toaster.
because I was gonna say Miami and Arizona are both respectively pretty hot. The only difference is Arizona is more of a dry heat, like it's here in Texas. And when you go to the East Coast and you deal with Miami, you're dealing with that crazy high humidity. So it's basically raining on you. The humidity is raining on you. It's intense. But anyway,
Michael agrees with me that it is a big toaster.
I've never been there. I've never seen it. So, I mean, I'm sure I've seen it at some point. It's just not coming to my memory exactly. But yeah, so the Dolphins roll to Arizona, and the Seahawks dropped their game against Buffalo Bills. I mean, we just got just beat up. I mean, we only lost by 10, but it's like, man, there were times where we just looked like we didn't even belong on the field with them. But that's another topic for later in the show. But what I'm saying is a lot of Seahawks fans were really hoping that that Miami would take care of Arizona because they're right behind us in the NFC West standings, and so it was really interesting to kind of see that game. And the Seahawks remain the lone NFC West team that was capable of beating Miami. Miami has beaten every other NFC West team. They beat the Rams. They bludgeoned the 49ers when they play them. And then this last week, they beat Arizona. So
they went 3 for 4.
So, I mean, 75%, right? That's pretty good. That's passable.
That's a passing grade. That's a passing grade right there.
Yeah, that'll pass you the class in a second.
Yeah.
But
and not only that this is the first time that Miami has won 4 straight games since 2016. So that's damn impressive for the Dolphins.
All I'm going to say is, of all the coaches that have came out of the Bill Belichick tree,
And that's a big tree.
yeah, that's a big tree. There's been a lot of coaches that have came out and just kind of like, gotten assistant coaches jobs, places, or head coach positions, and with other organizations and stuff. The two that really stand out to you right now in today's NFL is Mike Vrabel, who's the head coach for the Tennessee Titans, and Brian Flores, who's the head coach for the Miami Dolphins. They're both doing things the right way. But I'll tell you this: Mike Vrabel was a player, winning Super Bowls with Bill Belichick, so he knows football in another way. I'm not sure if Brian Flores was a player or not, but I'll tell you this: Brian Flores. Not only is it good to see him be successful in Miami, and I'll just say this, it's good to see a man of color go to an organization and really be successful. And so we just don't have a lot of that in the NFL these days. So it's nice to see.
Well, I mean, you got Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but I just mean in comparison to the mass, like 32 teams, like how many coaches of color do we have? It's pretty lopsided. So
it is.
Just like to see it, you know. But anyway, let's go ahead. Let's roll into the recaps for the week. I'm gonna run through some games, Snow, and then you just stop me where.
Yeah, I'll stop you. But yeah, and I just relooked at the Dolphins' schedule for their 4 straight wins. You would not believe me when if I was to tell you this fact, on their 4 straight wins, you would have looked at me and be like, seriously? They did that? The 4 wins that came out of this streak all came in that 75% passing grade. They were all against NFC West teams. The Niners, the Jets, the Rams, and the Cards. All 4 of that win streak right there was all NFC West and 1 Jet. How crazy is that?
Yeah. And the Jets are worse than anything you've ever seen. So whatever.
When you pick a shutout against the Jets, it's bad.
Right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the recap for week 9.
All right, let's start swinging.
Let's start. We're going to start Thursday night football. The Packers took care of the 49ers 34-17. That game was actually way more lopsided. The 49ers scored a touchdown late in garbage time to actually make it look a little bit better. Seahawks lose to the Bills 44-34, and we'll just stop there for a second. This I knew it was going to be a tough game just because I think that the Bills are a little bit hot and cold, but they don't ever get too cold and they don't ever get like crazy hot. The big story in this game was Seattle's defense not being able to like slow down the Bills at all. Josh Allen had some like historic numbers by the time the first quarter was over. It was insane. But the fact of the matter is that the weak point of the Seattle Seahawks right now is the defense. And I talk about the Bills being hot and cold. Seattle's defense has been really hot and cold this year. There's been a few games where they've looked really, really hot, multiple turnovers, really stopping the run in a crazy way. And then you have times where they just look like they don't even belong in college football, let alone the NFL. And this last week was a perfect example of that. They looked really bad. Jamal Adams comes back. You got Carlos Dunlap, who's finally active after the trade. He actually had a good game. He had a few tackles and a sack. So turns out that was worth it. And Seattle really got after Josh Allen. They sacked him 7 times on the night. Left guard and right guard for the Buffalo Bills got injured, and so of course you should have 7 sacks with that. There's just a lot of things going on. They didn't have The Bills came out and they said, we're not running the ball at all. I think at halftime they had 3 runs, 3 design run plays, meaning handing it off to the running back, not like a Josh Allen scramble or anything. And Josh
Yeah.
Allen didn't really kill the Seahawks with his legs too much, but it's been weird, man, watching Seattle try and figure out on defense. Our DBs have been a revolving door because it doesn't seem like anyone can stay healthy, and so if we get any kind of continuity on the defense at all, I think that we can be at least middle of the road. But right now, we just got so many guys injured that that we just need some consistency there. Our boy Alex Torres checking in. Sorry I'm late.
You
Yeah,
didn't miss a whole lot.
I was talking to him, so he's ready. He's here for the show. Big supporter
yeah.
of ours, Alex Torres. We appreciate you checking in. But yeah, Snow, like I said, you got any thoughts on the game there?
Yeah, I mean, I keep seeing this every week when we pick them, and as even when we pick them and when we talk about them, about the defense of how they have this bend but don't break mentality. However, this week the defense was broke. Literally just broke. They didn't bend at all. They were just broke. And literally, this was a throwing game from the word go. I mean, like you said, Buffalo didn't come out and run. Neither did the Seahawks. I mean, comparing the rushing yards, Buffalo 34 to 57 in the rushing yards. I would have figured that Seahawks would have probably thrown in some more rush because obviously they're pass heavy at this point with at least on the defensive side.
You got to remember that we're not healthy. We're missing our first and second string running back. Our third string running back, who is Travis Homer, is just coming off an injury. He's probably still hurt. Our 4th string running back, DJ Dallas, running back out of Miami, who just really, he's a 4th string for a reason. He's a rookie, so who knows what he's going to be. And then we still have Rashad Penny out there sitting on the PUP, the physically unable to play list. And I want to talk about this. Alex Torres dropped a comment here. Let me get it up here.
Yeah, it's up. It's up.
Okay. Jamal, he says, was Jamal a waste of money? No, it wasn't. Not really a waste of money per se, because we traded draft capital to get him. But I don't think Jamal is a waste of money at all. If you watch the game, which it wasn't on local TV here in the Dallas Fort Worth area.
Nope.
So I have NFL Sunday tickets, so I use that. But he's not a waste of money or draft capital at this point, because if you watch the game, you saw that he was very vocal and he was really doing his job right. From what he was asked to do, if he's asked to blitz or if he's asked to cover or whatever it is, he does his job at a very high level. He's one of the better safeties in the game. And so, it was just a situation where it's like, we just couldn't get anything going right. And when we really started to get things going right, we closed the gap to 7 points. And then right after we closed the gap to 7 points, the Seahawks gave the Bills the ball 3 separate times inside their own 25-yard line. And so, inside our 25-yard line, because they were automatically in a red zone as soon as we gave them the ball. And Russell Wilson, 2 picks, Russell Wilson, 2 fumbles. That's not a Russell Wilson game at all. Russell Wilson, historically, if you look at his numbers over his career, does not turn the ball over, is very careful with the ball in the way that Aaron Rodgers is. And so it's just a situation that you have to monitor and realize, man, a lot of things stacked up. The defense looked terrible. Russell Wilson didn't play a good game. And that's fine. I mean, it happens. But Snow, I know you agree with me. if you have to lose to a team, you might as well lose to an AFC team, right? Where there's no NFC playoff implications where it can be held against you other than a loss on your record.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's we play an AFC team this week, or this past week. It didn't hurt us. It didn't affect us that much. It gave us something to think about, down the line when we have to go up against another AFC, division, an AFC opponent, hopefully in the playoffs when we meet them in the Super Bowl. Just saying. But AFC games, they're always, different because, again, you're not playing in-house. It's not as impactful as it could be as compared to an NFC East, an NFC game or NFC West game. So it's just a learning tool for us. And and again, oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I just think that there's a lot of young guys on our team. These teams that have proven, whether it's NFC, AFC, have proven to be serious contenders, have a great balance of veterans and young guys. One of the few teams that is not balanced but is still playing pretty well, like, we talked about the Miami Dolphins earlier.
Mhm.
The Miami Dolphins have a lot of young talent. You got Tua in there. You got young receivers. You got young defense. You got pieces. They have draft picks. All those things. And so, Miami's not even like close to their potential yet, and they're still playing pretty well. When Miami really is starting to hit their stride and their potential, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the AFC. And so I think that way a lot about other teams in the NFC as well. Like I think Seattle is one of those teams. We're very balanced in that way, that we have guys who you would consider cornerstone guys, that you would consider to be veterans. We got Bobby Wagner, All-Pro, Russell Wilson, All-Pro, and then you got the emergence of DK Metcalf, who's quickly taking over in the NFL as one of the NFL's best wide receivers. And then you have Tyler Lockett, who's, you really look at. You look at this comment by Alex Torres, and he says, "I think the defense is just in a slump. They will show up when need be. Seattle, honestly, low-key unpredictable, happens every year." I look at something like that, and I think that, like, maybe there's games where maybe DK Metcalf isn't having his best statistical performance. And so, like, in recent memory, that for me, that goes back to the Seattle Arizona game just a few weeks ago. DK Metcalf was playing, Patrick Peterson was on him, who's just a savvy vet, probably in the last couple of years of his career, and that's fine, but he's still playing at a pretty high level and is widely considered one of the better DBs, at least top 10, if not top 5 DB in the NFL from the cornerback position. So he kind of had DK Metcalf locked up a little bit, and then here you go. Tyler Lockett comes out, multiple touchdowns, couple 100 yards receiving. Like, he was killing it. He was doing his thing. And so I think that all of those things play a factor. And so the good thing about the NFL is if you play bad one week, it doesn't matter. You dwell on it for a day, and then you roll on to the next week and start thinking about the next opponent. So
well, you're
not too bad.
You have to, because we're in the last 7. We're heading into the last 7 weeks of the season, and teams really need to step up and either keep rolling or get things changed up, because these next 7 weeks is going to determine who's going to be in the playoffs and who's going to be rolling for a Super Bowl title.
Right, and the real fight is your division. You have to win your division. That's step one. Every team, when the season starts, they always say, I want to win in my division. That's my main goal. Win the division first, then I can start looking at potentially getting that number 1 seed in the NFC, AFC, and then after that, I'll move on to playoff and stuff like that. But let's
Yeah.
run through the rest of these games real quick. So, like I said, Bills beat the Seahawks 44-34. Falcons beat the Broncos 34-27. Bears lose to the Titans 24-17. Ravens take care of the Colts 24-10. Chiefs beat the Panthers 33-31 in a shootout. The Panthers were actually up for a little while. They kind of went back and forth in that one.
Yeah. KC pulls out a victory, literally just pull it out.
Yeah, they had to. The Panthers are probably going to get the award this season for the team that was in every single game, but wasn't able to actually
out.
pull it out in the end for half of them.
Uh-huh.
But Vikings beat the Lions 34-20 after Matt Stafford has had multiple. He tested positive for COVID and then tested negative multiple times and all that stuff. And so this whole COVID stuff is so crazy.
It's very crazy.
Then let's see. Giants take care of
DC.
Washington 23-20. Close game there. Houston Texans take care of the Jaguars without Gardner Minshew 27-25. That was actually a pretty interesting game if you got a chance to watch it. Let's see here. Raiders take care of the Chargers. Mama Snow rejoice in the house. She was so mad. She was so mad at us because
2 weeks ago.
I guess we all went. Yeah, we all went Raiders again, right? And so she was a little bit. She's probably a little bit nervous.
Yeah, that week we all chose Raiders, and they
lost, right?
And then last week we picked them again. They won. This week we picked them, and they win again. So,
yeah, I mean, you're talking about a LA Chargers team coached by Anthony Lynn, and they're losing games in just ugly fashion. I don't mean by blowout when I say ugly fashion, but there's Mama Snow right here chiming in. You never know when Mama Snow's watching, okay? She's like a mom. She might hear, moms have, they say eyes.
Things. She hears the certain phrases like Raiders win, and it's smiles.
Yeah. She's got some type of NSA, FBI keyword hit search on us. So if she hears Raiders, she gets some type of update like on the spot. And so, but you know what they say about moms? Moms have eyes in the back of their head, and their hearing is on like a superhero level. So anyway, Raiders take care of business there. We were happy to see it. Steelers take care of the Cowboys 24-19 in really an ugly game. It was gross.
Warning.
Oh,
no, because she's here.
She's happy to be here with her Alabama shirt on.
With that Bama shirt on, yep.
Yeah. So yeah.
Roll Tide.
Yeah, he has to say Roll Tide because you were.
He had to work, unfortunately.
Yeah.
For him.
Yeah. So okay, Steelers take care of the Cowboys 24-19 in a very ugly game. The Steelers really deserve to lose this game and kind of have deserved to lose the last 2 weeks because they've won those games, but they've played ugly. And so that's just been the story within the last 2 weeks. And they didn't play too ugly 2 weeks ago against the Ravens because the Ravens are a respectable opponent. But we're talking about a Dallas Cowboys team who's sitting at, what do we have? They're 2-7 now. They were 2-6 coming into that game. Pittsburgh at 7-0 coming into that game should have wiped the floor with Dallas. No questions asked. Dallas's quarterback should have had multiple turnovers. Yep.
That would be the Dallas Cowboys' fall right now, and it's still going.
Yes, it is still going. I know the sound clip ends there, but we might want to copy that about 3 or 4 times so that the fall can continue to happen.
Well, it'll be more like,
"Where's the kaboom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom."
Yep.
Not yet. They haven't hit bottom yet.
Yeah, they
But
haven't reached the depths of despair yet. So,
no, that's the Jets right now. They've already hit rock bottom, and they just continue to dig deeper.
right.
But yeah,
So,
like you said, the Steelers should have wiped the floor with the Cowboys, and surprisingly enough, they allowed the Cowboys to make this a game all the way through. I agree with you that they should have, the Steelers should have lost this week, and they should have lost last week. But again, it's just, I go with it like you can have. Feel like you can have some games where you can, if you're a dominant team, you can allow some, a couple games maybe here and there to where it's close, but it's not out of reach for you to, bash them. And I guess the Steelers right now, they're having those couple games where they should have lost, but they're still winning.
yeah, anytime you're undefeated, Alex Torres here, a true Cowboys fan, says the Cowboys are like Carson Wentz's career, going nowhere. Listen, that whole Carson Wentz topic, that's a topic for another day, but
Yeah, when Cam is on here.
yeah, but the Cowboys, the Cowboys are going down. They're probably going to end up with a 4th or 5th overall pick, I would guess. But then let's go to Sunday Night Football. The Saints take care of the Bucks 38-3. Man, Tom Brady threw 3 picks. Antonio Brown, I mean, they had everything they needed. The Bucks had everything they needed. They got Mike Evans, they got Chris Godwin, they got Gronk, they got Antonio Brown. They have Ronald Jones. They have one of the better defenses in the NFL. But you want to know what the real problem was in this game? It wasn't that the Saints were so much better than the Bucks. It was 100% had everything to do with Bruce Arians is the weakness of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's the main weakness. He just gets into these fits where he sticks to this certain ideal of the Seahawks used to get into these fits where they would say, we're running the ball no matter what. Even if we need to get to 100 yards rushing, even if we have to hand the ball off 35 times to get there, we're going to do it, And so Bruce Arians gets into these fits where he wants to throw to a certain receiver. He wants to be a certain way with kind of how he calls plays and the offensive style that he has, or the weakness that he thinks is a weakness that he's trying to attack. And so, yeah, man, I look at it and I'm not even a Bucks fan or a Saints fan, but it's real frustrating to see a team like the Bucks whereas in the NBA, LeBron James and 2 of his friends can go to a team in Miami and really run roughshod through the league for a couple of years. That same type of narrative doesn't necessarily exist in the NFL. You can't super team up because you have to realize that you're dealing with the best player at their university in every position on every team. And so it's just not possible unless you were like, hey, Russell Wilson, we're going to give you Julio Jones. And then on the other side of the ball, hey, we're going to give you Stephon Diggs. And then in the slot, you were like, hey, we're going to give you, I don't even know who the premier slot guy is, but then, on defense, you were like, okay, then you can have Stephon Gilmore over there. And then on the other side, you can have the kid from Buffalo. And then, just like elite all the way across. That doesn't really exist in the NFL. It's so much harder to do in the NFL.
Yeah, there's no possible way of having like a super team of just talent and names that are just huge on one team. It may have happened like years and years ago, but it's very rare for that. And to say the least, with this game, everyone hyping this game up. Of course, this is the game that we're going to see the number 1 and number 2 quarterbacks who are throwing the most touchdowns in history right now, and it just became a blowout from the word, go kickoff, and it was, the Bayou, that pirate ship sank fast in its own harbor because they had too many saints partying on that boat.
Right. Okay, so let's move ahead. Patriots take care of the Jets on Thursday or on Monday Night Football. I mean, 30-27. The Jets were actually up by 10 points pretty late in this game. This is actually the game that helped me win the week as far as the standings go. I haven't won a Dude, I was getting kind of annoyed. I haven't won a dang week since like week 3 or something like that. It was
Yeah,
right. Snow it was
you
like 6 weeks since I won.
yeah, you were on a 6-week losing streak, and to say the least, again, you won it by a tie. You won the
Yeah.
tiebreaker
So we were all
because
tied going into Monday Night Football, and then I picked the I picked the amount of points scored as the highest amount. Cam went 28, Snow went 33, and then I believe I went 34. I just
Yep.
saw that this game was going to be high scoring. Joe Flacco comes in a backup role and tosses 3 touchdowns. So. Cam Newton was 27 for 35, 274 yards, and he rushed a touchdown
he
in
didn't throw
himself.
he
But
didn't throw a touchdown nowhere this game.
yeah, Cam Newton is definitely, and the New England Patriots for that matter, have definitely cooled off since the first like 3 or 4 weeks of the season. Yeah, I see Alex over here.
Woo, he throwing some serious, shade right there.
Yeah, but here's the thing about Alex. If he was on the podcast, there's no way that he would hang with picking the games, And so that's fine. But okay, Snow, it's time. Let's get into our picks for the week. We're going to go into week 10. There's the Cowboys are on a bye this week. I'm not sure who the other bye team is, but
I have the list. It's the bye teams this week are ATL, Dallas, KC, and them and Niner Jets.
oh,
They
the
get a
Jets get a break.
they get a break from getting bashed.
Okay, let's start first. We got Colts and Titans on Thursday Night Football. The line is 100% even. To me, this is going to be a defensive struggle, and I think this could have potential to be a pretty low scoring game, maybe like a 24-18 or something crazy like that. Just like real close, but not a lot of scoring here. Snow, give me your pick on this one. Who do you think's taking this one?
Before we get too far, Mr. Alex throwing in some more shade at you. I'm gonna start
He
writing
says, "I'm gonna."
down my predictions. I say and report it at the start of every podcast.
But here's the deal, Alex. Even if you do that and you've managed to beat me somehow, I'm just gonna tell you that you're a liar. So I'll never out myself on my own airwaves.
If he's typing it in the chat, we have record. He can't,
Yeah,
it's in
but
chat,
it's
he
okay
can't delete
because
it.
when the stream ends that I can absolutely delete anything that I want deleted. So and then I'll do a smear campaign and tell everyone that he's a liar. So but anyway, okay.
And everyone out there, we will get Cam's picks. We will get them somehow, and we will I will have the record kept up for that. So we don't somehow get an advantage and try to creep up on him on a 6-game, creep up so he doesn't miss a week. We will get his picks.
Okay, Snow. So tell me who you have in this game.
This is going to be a very interesting game. It's the battle for first place in the AFC South. Winner is going to be leading the South, and I've said this for the last weeks that the Titans are going to be the AFC South champs. They've looked very good this year. And not to say the least, the Colts have been pulling their weight. They've been making their comeback. You would have thought that with losing, Rivers, or actually adding Rivers, that it would have been a bad season. But surprisingly, they're making this a season. 5-3 and 6-2. However, I am still feeling that Tennessee barbecue. So give me swords up. I'm swinging with the Titans.
Listen, before I make my pick, I need to address this comment by your mother. Okay. So I know that you can't make any comment here because you would be in the doghouse of all doghouses, but
I'm not saying a word.
yeah, that's probably really smart on your point. But here's the thing. She's calling me a big baby because what would I listen,
She's
if she's calling
laughing.
me a big baby,
She's laughing
but
too.
you know what she needs to understand? She needs to understand that, check this out. In my house, okay? I have my wife. I Snow, give her the headphones. Listen, Mama Snow, check this out. In my house, I have my wife, right? Then I got a dog that is also a female. Bam. Okay. Now we're talking 2 women against me. Then, right after I got the dog, my daughter was born. 3 women against me, right? And then we adopted a girl. 4 women against me, okay? And then luckily, God was looking out for me. He was like, "Man, I just feel bad for you. I need to throw you a couple bones." He sent us a boy, so I have a son. So it's 4 against 2. I'm still crazy outnumbered. So forgive me if I'm a little bit of a baby because I have so many emotional women in my household, okay? It just is what it is. And so maybe they wear off on me a little bit, but you know what? You're not wrong. I guess I am a big baby.
Mm-hmm. Mr. I
So
haven't won.
touche.
This is 3rd week.
Oh,
Crying
you
about
mean
it.
I haven't
Yes, I
won
saw.
since last week? Since last week? I won last week.
So you
Thanks
didn't
to
win
your
since the 3rd week.
Raiders. But I won this last week thanks to your Raiders. Appreciate you, Las Vegas.
And he won week 9, so he's on a 6-week drought.
Ooh, a 6-week drought.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
you
on
did,
a
baby.
I'm on a 0-week drought. I just won. Damn it!
Well, I'm
I
saying
just
the week,
won.
this week, yes, but before that was week 3. I saw all your
Hey,
texts to Eric on Monday while we were at dinner
that said
that
said
you
what?
were praising yourself and all that kind of crap, you big baby.
I just told him that I would cancel him off these airwaves completely if he kept harassing me about it. That's all I said.
Oh, see, that's being a big baby.
You're absolutely right. When you're the middle child, you're always the baby, and I'm the middle child, so that's just the way it is.
Oh,
I know, exactly. At least someone has some sympathy for me. I appreciate that.
you missed the sarcasm in that. Oh,
Oh. Okay, let's get back into our
Let's get
picks
back
here,
to Finley.
Snow. Nothing like a mama snow sighting. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Why do you think I
So
have the alarm?
okay, yeah, you definitely sent off the alarm, all that good stuff. Okay.
All right.
Let's keep it rolling. I'm gonna take the Titans in this one. I like what you're talking about with the Titans. I think that, like I said, this could be a defensive struggle. I just think at this point in both franchises, just kind of the positions that they're both in, I think that the Titans are a little bit ahead. So I'll take the Titans in this one.
Yeah, and of course, and this is going to be a very determining factor in who will take the South in the AFC.
Right.
So, but it's funny, depending on what Cam's, when we get Cam's picks, after the show, depending. He might be, if he's, if I know Cam, like, if we know Cam like he's going to go, he's going to be swinging with the Titans. But we're all going to be, basically saying that. Let's see, where is it? This is going to happen.
We'll be rolling, owning, rolling Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, if he goes Titans. Just saying. How do you
Yeah,
get
you know what's interesting to me? It's interesting with last season we did just me and Cam. We had you on a couple times. We had my buddy Ryan on once. What's interesting to me is how we've been a 3-man show this year. An interesting thing is like it makes me think, how much have we allowed another person's pick to kind of persuade the direction that we're gonna go? And so
Probably a
I think it's
lot.
safe to say that I have been pretty high on the Colts. I think Cam has been pretty high on the Colts, as well as you have been high on the Colts. But we have a situation where we're like, man, they're a quarterback away, because I think we all agree that Phillip Rivers isn't really the answer. But if they would have had a young guy like a Justin Herbert in there, we would have been. I mean, it would have been hard to go against the Colts for any reason. And so, we like the Colts, but we feel like maybe they're one or two pieces away from like really being that big time player. And so it's I think we're forcing our hand a little bit.
Yeah, they're back. They're 1 and 2 away, 1 to 2 pieces away from, again, probably making it back into the playoffs and maybe even making a Super Bowl run like they did back in the day with old Peyton. But I mean, yeah, and of course we've been high on the Colts, here and there. But it's Tennessee. Tennessee's been been doing very well this year, and they've been looking very clean to a point. I mean, of course, losing 2 games, and one of them was super close. So we're still all high on, swinging that sword with the Titans.
Right. So you and I are both going to go Titans here, and like we said, we'll get Cam's picks. But next game we have here in Texas, it's a 3:25 start, which is a 125 for you in the Pacific Northwest.
The Hawks and Rams game. Yes, it will be a 125 game.
The Seattle Seahawks taking on the Rams. Seattle at 6-2. The Rams tied with the Arizona Cardinals at 5-3. Rams are actually a 1.5 point favorite over the Seahawks. It's, of course, in Inglewood, California, in most places where you would get a 3-point nod just for being the home team. Interesting thing here is the Rams have not been themselves. They've looked kind of weird. They paid big time money to guys like Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, stuff like that. Rams have looked a little bit weird, I was talking about the Buffalo Bills earlier being really hot and cold, Seahawks being hot and cold. I think the Rams have been very hot and cold. I think they looked like the best team in the NFL week 1 when they took on the Cowboys. I think that there's been other games, like specifically against Miami, where they just looked horrendous. And so it's just a matter of what team's going to show up. I think the Seahawks, there's no way that they're losing 2 in a row. They don't do that. Good teams don't do that. They don't allow themselves to be put on those types of streaks. I'm gonna take the Seahawks on this one. I always take the Seahawks, and for better, for worse, I guess. But in this situation, I think that Seattle's a better team than the Los Angeles Rams are at this point, and so I'm gonna roll Seattle. Snow, who you have in this one?
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting, to say the least. I mean, you have the Rams, who have not looked like themselves like past, seasons. actually not even last season. This is not a Rams team that I would put in a playoff position right now. And while it's this could potentially be a division leading game right here because it's a 6-2 Hawks versus a 5-3 Rams, and Rams win this, and they tie with the Hawks, and it's going to make that last game down or back here. It's going to make that last game up here, our last home game in December. That could be the potential NFC West crown right there. And the fact that the defense right now is, at least this past week, didn't show up. They were still at Seattle, sipping on, some Starbucks, and I don't know about this game as much. Rams have won 4 of the last 5 against Seattle. It's and this is what a normal game for a normal quote for Cam. This would be a trap game, to say the least. But I'm still confident in the Seahawks. They can put that. They're going to take last week, and they're going to turn this whole thing around, and they're going to forget about last week and focus on the Rams and keeping their NFC West crown hopes alive. So give me them Seahawks.
Yeah, I like the comment here from Alex Torres, 28-17 over the Rams. I would sign up for that right now.
Yeah.
If you told me, hey, there's a chance to win big or there's a chance to lose on Sunday, but if I told you could have the win right now at 28-17, sign me up. I'm taking it 10 times out of 10. Wouldn't even think about it.
And not only that, I mean, again, with the Seahawks losing to the Cardinals already, they're 1-1. If they, this could also be a determining factor with the Cardinals. If they win, they're going to jump ahead. So this is a game that the Seahawks need to win, and they need to have the defense, wake up and show up on Sunday.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and roll to our next game. Texans taking on the Browns. Cleveland's favored by 3. Snow, I'll let you go ahead first on this one. Who you have in this one?
Oh, good God. I mean, you have this is a surprise game. I mean, you have the Houston Texans, 2-6. Oh, and we have his picks. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Cam Man's picks.
Wait. I got it. You finish with your thought.
Yeah, I'll finish my thought.
I got it.
And then we'll go for it. So yeah, 2-6 Houston against the Browns 5-3. I've been saying this for the last several weeks that Old Brown is back. That this is a Cleveland Brown team, that is starting to make their skid towards, going back down and falling back into obscurity, in that NFC North division. I really do want to pick the Houston Texans on this. However, I feel like the Texans wins, their 2 wins that they've gotten, it's been not so. I mean, it was against the Niners team. They only beat them by 10, and then did I read that right? Yeah. Nope, I read it wrong. Sorry. They beat they beat Jags 14-30, so it was and their other win was against the Jags. So they swept the Jags by 2, and they beat them this past week by 2. So again, this is, I don't fully believe in Houston that they could beat the Browns. So I'm still on the mindset that Old Brown is back and they're going to be bad. But in this game, give me the dog pound.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this is one of those games where Cleveland finds a way to score kind of like a high amount, like 34 points or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna roll with the Browns in this one too. I think that I think that they have a chance to do some damage here. I think that Houston's defense is really bad. So let's go ahead and roll with that, and then let's go to our next game here.
Oh, and then of course we do have Cam's picks for the last
Right,
3
right.
games.
So Cam's going Titans for the first game. He's going Browns in this one, and then he went Seahawks because we
Seahawks.
haven't picked we
Yeah.
haven't picked any other games other than that yet. But
All right.
Okay,
Let's-
let's go
right.
ahead and keep it rolling on this one. Washington at 2-6 is taking on the Lions at 3-5. Detroit's favored by 4.5 points. This one's interesting. Washington's going to be without their best running back in Gibson. Detroit by no means should lose this game. And so because it's Detroit and Detroit they are what they are. I'm going to take Detroit in this one. I think at best, if Detroit finds a way to screw up and Washington finds a way to play some good offensive football, I think that Detroit still wins this game by 3. So I'm going to go ahead and roll with Detroit on this one. Snow, who do you have?
Again, close game. Alex Smith is, right now he is 5-0 against the Cardiac Cats right now, and this is going to be another trap game where you think that it's Washington, it's Detroit, someone's gonna find a way to screw up and screw up big. You know what? Knowing that and what's going on, I feel like this is going to be one of my crazy picks right here. Because, ladies and gentlemen, hop aboard the whatchamacallit train. I'm rolling with DC.
Wow. Okay. And Alex Torres is right there with you. He said 17-14 over the Lions, and so
see, even Alex is hop aboard the whatchamacallit train.
Well, we'll see what happens there. Let's
feel
go
like this team name is that should be the team name, the Washington whatchamacallits.
But let's go ahead and go to the next week here.
And then of course, Cam has picked them. Cardiac Cats.
Of course. Okay, so Cam goes Lions with me. Packers at 6-2 taking on the 1-7 Jacksonville Jaguars. We don't know if Gardner Minshew is playing yet. He's probably not playing. But let's see. Green Bay favored by 13.5. I think we both understand that Green Bay's taking this game, and it's not even going to be all in favor. Say aye. Okay, we're there.
Cheesehead,
all right.
Everyone, including Cam, is picking cheeseheads for this.
Right. So, man, my camera just got real weird. You see that?
Yeah.
It's
like,
anyway,
move along for the moment.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and keep it rolling here. Eagles at 3-4-1 taking on the 2-7 Giants. Philly favored by 3.5. I'm going Philly in this one. I don't think that there's a way that they let the Giants beat them. The Giants could even beat the Cowboys. What makes you think they're going to beat Philly? So I'm taking Philly in this one. Snow, who do you have?
You know what? Surprisingly, I have a bad feeling that actually, you know what? Where is it?
I got a bad feeling about this.
That this could also be another trap game because it's going to be a close game here because it's the NFC least. When they play against each other, they always score big. Well, yeah, and Philly has won 8 straight games on the Giants. So I want to go Philly because I believe that this is going to be Philly's year to rep the NFC least. And Cam is going to roll with me on that because we're all going with them cheesesteaks. Do. I'm going to wait while Mr. Mike gets his mic problem undone. So
My bad. I forgot
that's
I was muted. I
that's
had
okay.
muted myself there for a second. Anyway,
That's okay.
I was just
Yeah.
dude, I was just talking away like a crazy person. I didn't even realize that I was muted. I'm glad you said something because I would have just kept talking. Just who knows? Anyway, Buccaneers taking on the Carolina Panthers. Bucks at 6-3, Panthers at 3-6. Tampa Bay is favored by 5.5 points in this one. Snow, I'll let you go first. Who do you have in this game?
For some reason, I'm going to go into the mindset of Tampa Bay comes back and they have a fire under their ass. They come back. They don't lose 2 straight. They bash the Panthers in Carolina. I'm swinging the sword. I'm hopping on Jolly Roger, and I'm going with them Bucks.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bucks as well. I think that Bruce Arians and that whole Bucks team has gotten a pretty fair amount of criticism this week for that lackluster performance they threw out there on Sunday Night Football.
Oh yeah.
Alex Torres here says Bucks 24, Panthers 10. I don't think that's enough. I'm gonna say 34-10. I think that the Bucks come out and they really make a statement against a divisional opponent. I'm looking for a touchdown from Antonio Brown this week. I would love to see it. I want to see his reemergence back into the NFL. And look, here's Alex Torres once again just dropping a comment for us saying Antonio Brown with the touchdown, and I'm there, dude. I want to see it, and I'm glad to see it. And if there's a game that he has a chance to do something and really kind of get back on his feet, not that he really had that bad of a game last week. He only got so many targets, but the team was hurting last week, and so it'll be interesting to see him. Tom Brady coming off of that 3 interception game. I want to see some. If we're gonna take the Bucs seriously as an NFC contender, they need to win this game with ease, with a little bit of comfort. And so, I'm going Bucs here, and our boy Cowboy Cam also went Bucs, and so
we're all Pirates this week.
Yeah,
again.
We're all Pirates. Let's go ahead and roll into the next week. We have the Broncos at 3-5 taking on the 5-3 Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders are favored by 5 points. Is it my turn to go first, or did you go first last time? Okay,
it's me.
I'm hammering, dude. I'm hammering Raiders all the way. The only thing that makes me a little bit uncomfortable that the Denver Broncos are one of those teams that are kind of sneaky, where they just hang around, and if you're not a disciplined team, then they turn around and bite you at the end and find a way to get a win. And not to mention,
they're kind of like the Miami Dolphins.
Yes. No,
they're a thorn in someone's side, and they come back and they.
No, I don't view the Broncos in the same way, because the Broncos are kind of doing things that they really shouldn't be doing. the Miami Dolphins are just young, and so it's a little bit different. But I'm gonna roll with the Raiders in this one because I'm just super high on the Raiders. I mean, I don't care for Derek Carr at all, but I like the rest of the team. Um, and I'm gonna go with the Raiders on this one. I think with John Gruden, they are and will be a disciplined enough team to take care of the Broncos. Even if the Broncos find a way to hang around for most of the game, I think when it comes down to it, that the Raiders can take care of business. Snow, I know that's like your AFC team. So tell me what you think about this one.
Uh the literally this is a team that Vegas, or sorry, I can't say Vegas because the Raiders hate. This is a game you do not want to lose. You put your rivals is KC and your rivals is Denver. These are two games you should and will not lose. If you are a Vegas, sorry, I can't keep saying Vegas because it's Raiders. No matter where they go, if they go to Oakland, if they go to Vegas, you should not want and can't lose to Denver. And ladies and germs. Oh, well, you were in the facility. Yeah, the vicinity.
False alarm.
You were
False
in
alarm.
the area. Well, she's somewhat near. And
Yeah.
well, because guess what? We're business decision. We're all going Vegas. And duh. Because
Well, it
Wait.
so it worked out for us last week, right? So we all went Raiders last week. Did Cam go Raiders last week,
Yes.
or did Cam go Raiders this week? I mean,
yeah, he went Vegas last weekend. This week.
Yep. So okay, so Cam goes Raiders this week. I went Raiders. You went Raiders. Let's hope, for the sake just of your survival. I mean, because I mean, she can't kill me. I'm 3,000 miles away along with Cam. So I mean, I guess technically she could if she really wanted to that bad. But
she can hop on the plane and visit Dallas.
that's what I'm
Head on
saying.
down
It's
to
like
Texas.
like the Stars are her favorite hockey team, so she would just consider it a vacation and just come kill us in the meantime. So
Yeah, sure.
but
again, this is a game you should not lose to. It's Denver. It's one of your most hated rivals right there. So this is a rivalry game right here. And the Raiders are going to come out swinging to knock out that Bronco.
Mama Snow says she can get on a plane, and you know what? That's enough for me. That's all I need to hear. We're all going Raiders, and Raiders, please win. Oh my gosh. Anyway, let's go to the next game. We have Chargers taking on the Dolphins. Chargers at 2-6, really underperforming, and Dolphins at 5-3. Miami's favored by 2.5 points. You know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm sick and tired of the Chargers, okay? I'm sick and tired of Anthony Lynn. They got all that dang talent, and they're on the Dallas Cowboys level spectrum right now. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things, dude. Straight business decision. I'm taking Miami in this one. Snow, I have a feeling where you're going. You got the shades on. You got the Miami Dolphins backdrop here. Let me hear.
Yeah.
You got you got a shirt for me or what? Or are you just gonna rock the Seahawks?
No, I got my shirt. I got my
Okay.
my lovely, feel like I'm on vacation in a nice sunny area. Shirt. I got my shirt on because for some reason I feel like Will Smith and I need to go down to Miami for this because the Chargers this year are not looking as well as they have in past years. Literally, even moving into their new stadium, they have not looked this good. 2-6. This is going to be a battle of the rookie quarterbacks of Justin Herbert and Tua. It's going to be a fun game to see. And And the Dolphins 5-3 right now. This is a real shocker, to say the least. Who would have thought heading into week 10 that the Dolphins and the Bills would be the two teams contending for an AFC East crown right now? I mean, yeah, Buffalo's 2 games up, at 7-2 for 4-0 in the division. Dolphins are 5-3, 1-2 in the division. But still, this is a surreal surprise. I mean, with the fall of the Pats, dropping down to 5-3, and right now not really making it a horse race in the AFC East, the Dolphins coming out and maybe, depending on how they do against the Bills again, this could be a very interesting AFC East, standing going forward the next 7 weeks as we head into playoffs coming in. But yeah, give me them Fish Boys. I'm coming to Miami.
And who did Cam take in this one? I feel like he took the Dolphins.
Basically he went.
Hi, I'm looking for Ray Finkel and a clean pair of shorts.
We all went with the Fish Boys.
Okay. Let's roll to our next game. We have the Buffalo Bills at 7-2 taking on the Arizona Cardinals at 5-3. Arizona, what does that say? There's no way. And it says minus one. It says minus 130. I think that's a typo. Who do you really think's favored in this game, Snow? Buffalo and Arizona.
Buffalo, of course. I would feel like Buffalo would be the favorite, but let me double check on my end of what it says on ESPN. Let me just double check.
It said 130. That's like a baseball line. I'm like, what in the world is going on here? Fact of the matter is, Buffalo played pretty well against Seattle. They've really played pretty well overall. They only have a few losses. And so, Buffalo struggled again. Okay, what do you got?
I have the money, at least the money line on ESPN's, for Pick Center. The money line is negative 130 for the Cards, plus 110 for the Bills. The over-under is 56.5.
Okay, so this one's crazy. The Bills and the Cardinals, if both are playing to their peak performance, this game can be close, like really close.
And they're giving the Cards the edge, 58.4% to 41.3 over the Bills.
Okay, so that's like
that's like something you would be like, okay, they know something that everyone else doesn't know, because you got the Buffs at 7-2 and they're rolling against the Cards, who are in a fight right now with the Seahawks for the NFC West crown. So something must be there, to say the least.
Well, it's not just that. I think there's something there. But I also think that there's something to be said with the Cardinals are trying to fight for that top spot for the NFC West. But you also have to remember that the Cardinals are tied at 5-3 with the Los Angeles Rams. So they need to take care of their second position before they could possibly think about the first. But here we are, you got the Buffalo Bills taking on the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going Buffalo in this one. I liked what I saw last week from Buffalo. I think Josh Allen is capable of doing a lot of different things. Buffalo didn't really run the ball last week because they didn't need to. No. I think that Buffalo's defense was highly regarded before the season started, and a lot of people have cooled off on them since. But I think that Buffalo's defense is still good. They've invested a lot of draft capital into that defensive line. I think they've invested money into that defensive line as well. With Mario Addison, they drafted Ed Oliver coming out of the University of Houston, a very highly touted NFL draft prospect. So I think they've got the money and the resources and all of that pushed towards that defense. And so I'm going to take Buffalo in this one, specifically just because Arizona's good on offense, but they are really lacking on defense. They don't have a whole lot of depth. And so I'm going Buffalo on this one.
Okay. And Cam also went Buffalo. So, yeah, for some reason, I feel like Buffalo is the better team. Buffalo has won 6 of the last 7 games against Arizona. Buffalo is, they're trying to stay in that 3rd position right now, trying to even crawl up to 2nd position in the AFC, as they're 1 game behind the Chiefs for that 2nd spot. Granted, it's not going to matter anything with, whoever's at 2 and whoever's at 3, because either way, you're still hosting a playoff, you're still hosting a wild card game. And you're only 2 games back from Pittsburgh. They're sitting at 8-0. Buffalo's sitting at 7-2. So they need this if they want to try to knock off Pittsburgh at the top and hope that Pittsburgh loses a game or 2 between now and week 17 or before we hit wild card. So if the Buffalo Bills want to continue to push for that wild card bye, they need to win this game and move. Granted, it's not a conference game, but it's still a game that will help. So, like everyone else here right now, we're going to be.
No one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
So hop on them wagons, because I'm circling with y'all.
Okay. Let us circle then. How about that? Okay. Let's go 49ers taking on the Saints. 49ers sitting at 4-5. Like I said earlier, 49ers are one of the most injured teams in the entire NFL. Then you have the New Orleans Saints sitting at 6-2. Actually, New Orleans is sitting in the number 1 seed spot in the NFC right now, with Seattle losing. So New Orleans is in that spot for now, and New Orleans is favored by 9.5 points over the San Francisco 49ers. I'll go ahead and just kind of raise my hand on this one. This is an obvious win for the New Orleans Saints. I don't think that the 49ers have much to offer as far as of being able to stop them. And I think the Saints are going to roll easily in this one. The 49ers should not be competitive with the Saints at all. Snow, I don't know how you feel about it, but that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, the Saints right now, they haven't allowed a 100-yard rushing or rusher. They have not allowed 100 yards rusher in 46 straight games. The Niners are torn to shreds. There's no chance I'm giving them a single sliver of hope down there when they head on down to the Bayou. And the only thing they're going for is to get a butt whooping and maybe have some jambalaya. That's it. Because the Saints are going to be heavenly down in basically the Saints are going to be playing a practice squad, basically. That's all it is. They're playing a practice squad down there of the 49ers. They're not playing a real team right now. So, we're all agreeing. We're going Saints.
Yeah, and Cowboy Cam went Saints as well. Okay, next up, Bengals taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bengals sitting at 2-5-1, and Steelers as the NFL's only undefeated team sitting at 8-0. Pittsburgh's favored by 7. Pittsburgh is favored by 7. 49ers are Carson Wentz legs. Broken, broken, broken. You know what? I can't really speak to Carson Wentz legs, but I can speak to the 49ers, and I would tell you that, yep, and Dak. That's
And Dak's
absolutely right.
legs.
That's absolutely right. Yeah, 49ers are hurt. But Bengals Steelers 2-5-1, Steelers 8-0. Pittsburgh favored by 7. Are we doing it? Okay, we're doing it. Pittsburgh
Yeah,
across the board. Okay.
because I have his picks right here in front of me. I have Cam's picks, and the way that this is looking, all in favor. We're going Steeler. We're going to
Right.
the Steelers.
Okay, so Steelers, we go Steelers across the board there. Let's go to Sunday Night Football. We got the Baltimore Ravens at 6-2 taking on the New England Patriots at 3-5. Baltimore favored by 7. I'm taking Baltimore all the way here. New England's not doing anything that makes me think that they could even have a chance at winning this game. I mean, of course, they have so many players that are out on like the COVID opt out thing, but I'm still there, man. There's nothing that New England has. I'm taking Baltimore all the way on this one.
Okay. That black raven of a bird. And then of course Cam went with the Ravens as well, so it's another Baltimore for there. So, yeah, I'm with you there. I don't view New England really as a threat against Lamar Jackson. He's going to, head on up to Boston and just I'll even give New England a sliver of hope if the defense can step up and maybe get a couple picks off of Lamar Jackson. I could or maybe even a pick 6 here and there or a fumble. If they can do that, I could probably see New England getting into this game. But right now, Baltimore 6-2 on a bashing, just rolling right now. Lamar Jackson 25 wins in his first 30 starts, tied for the most in the Super Bowl era. I feel like this is going to be 26 out of 31. Give me my friend right here, the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay, let's go ahead. Let's roll to Monday Night Football. We have the Vikings taking on the Bears. Vikings at 3-5. The Bears at 5-4. Minnesota favored by 2.5 points. Let's consult the aforementioned Cowboy Cam has taken the Vikings with a total score of 45. Okay. So we understand that his total point score here is 45 for this Monday Night Football game. And 9 times out of 10, if you see our banner here down below, it says hashtag tiebreaker pick, because 9 times out of 10 with all of us, we end up needing this tiebreaker, especially with last week. We were all tied going into the championship, but Monday Night Football, to decide who won the week for, for me really, but in previous weeks, the other guys. And so
4 weeks. We've had 4 weeks out of the last 5, we've had 4 weeks out of 9 go to the tiebreaker. This is how close it's been.
Okay, so let's go. Minnesota, Chicago. Minnesota's favored by 2.5. Cam's taking Vikings at 45 points for total points scored. Snow, who do you have in this one?
You know what? I want to kick it to you. I want to see where you're going to go. Because
I'll take that. And I'll go. I'm gonna take Minnesota, and I will take, for my total points scored, I will go 38.
Okay, I could see that. Particular reason why, with this game?
Everyone knows Chicago's defense is good. Everyone also knows that your two options at starting quarterback, whether it's Mitch Trubisky or Nick Foles, are both garbage. They don't really have anything to offer from the quarterback position, although they do have some pretty good receivers. They have Allen Robinson, they have Anthony Miller. They have some pieces there on offense, but in my opinion, they're not going to be able to do much from the quarterback position. I think that Minnesota has a plethora of receivers. They have Justin Jefferson, rookie, coming out of LSU. They have Adam Thielen. They have Dalvin Cook, who, by the way, has been a fantasy monster over the last few weeks. Ever since that Seattle game, he's returned and just been a beast. And so it's real difficult to choose a team like Chicago who doesn't have much to offer offensively. So even if they do, from a defensive standpoint, cause some turnovers and get the ball back to their offense, what does their offense really have to offer? Don't have a lot of confidence in them. So I'm hammering home Minnesota. What did I say for points?
You
Do you
said
remember?
points. Yes, I have it. You said
I said
point
38.
38. 38 your points.
Yeah. And Cam said 45.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I'm cool with that. 38 points for the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football. Snow, time is up. The time is now. Let's hear it.
And my time is now.
Exactly.
I'm going to give you the points first because I want you to listen to this. I'm going to go. The points, I will say it's going to be 35. I'm going to say it's 35.
Okay. Now tell me why.
I feel like this is going to be one of those defensive games where you're going to get a lot of stops. I just have a feeling that this will be a Monday night game that's going to be a little bit more tightly close. This is going to be a battle in the black and blue division with the NFC's North division. So it's going to be a very tough one. It's a division game with the Bears taking on the Vikings. This is going to be determining who is going to be riding, next to the Packers and trying to take that Packers, first seed in the North. I mean, granted, Packers right now are 6-2, Bears are 5-4, Vikings are 3-5, and they could, the Vikings and the Bears could switch off on this because Bears would be sitting at 1-1 in the division. Vikings could swing to a 3-1 in the division on this win. And on this Monday night game, the way that it's looking and the way that I'm feeling about this, I feel like this is going to be a monster of the midway game because I'm going with the Bears, as I have right in front of me Mr. Cousins' record on Monday Night Football. Would you like to take a guess at this man's record?
You're talking about Kirk Cousins' record on Monday Night Football?
Yes.
Can I have here? Give me a hint. Give me the total number of games, and then I'll give
9.
you the record. 9. I'm gonna say 3-6. He's horrible. I know he's horrible in the clutch.
Oh, it's bad. This would literally be saying for anyone who has this record, get me out of here. Because Mr. Cousins is 0-9 on Monday Night Football. I believe that the Bears are going to make it 0-10 for Mr. Cousins. So give me The Bears.
I did know that actually. I don't know why I completely spaced on that, but I did know that. I remember that last year because I believe Minnesota and Seattle played on Monday Night Football last year. But anyway, that is it for our picks for the week. We are the Flex Network. I am at FlexMike11 on Twitter. This is the SnowMan. He is at AJS Dead Snow on Twitter for his personal account. He is at FlexNet_PW Elite on Twitter for all your wrestling talk and news here on the Flex Network airwaves. We appreciate you tuning in. We ask that you subscribe to our YouTube page at the Flex Network on YouTube. You can find us on on Facebook. And just search the Flex Network on Facebook. Like our page there and open your podcasting platform, whatever that is, whether it's Apple Podcasts, whether it's Spotify, Stitcher, Overcast, any of these other places. We are on all of the platforms, and just give us a like and a subscribe, and maybe write us a review there and tell us what we're doing good, what we're doing bad, what you like. I hope that you give us a 5-star review, obviously. We appreciate that, but make sure you tune in Thursday night to the SnowMan. He will be doing his thing, talking the week in review for wrestling. Alex Torres says, Happy Veterans Day, Mike. Thank you. Of course, appreciate you. Flex Network Wrestling tomorrow night. The SnowMan will be doing his thing. There's some things to talk about. We had the AEW pay-per-view went down. Maybe some potential title changes. I don't know. We had a Monday Night Raw episode.
We had a lot of things go down over the weekend.
You got Survivor Series coming up. There's some things going down in the world of professional wrestling that needs to some attention brought to it. And so Snow will be there for you tomorrow night, breaking all that down. As for the SnowMan and myself, Flex Mike, we will catch you guys later.
Peace. Oh.